Hello, my beautiful listeners, and welcome back to the Talk Evolve podcast. I am your host, Sophia. Take a deep breath with me. Inhale and exhale. You are here, you are safe, and you are taking another powerful step toward mastering the English language. In our previous episodes, we have talked about destroying the fear of judgment. We talked about the fear of speaking, and we learned how to stop translating from your native language to English. But today, we are going entirely to the next level. Today, we are going to talk about a hidden enemy. It is an enemy that lives quietly inside your own head. It steals your energy, it destroys your focus. And most importantly for us, it completely stops you from speaking fluent, confident English. Today, I am going to share the life-changing secrets inspired by one of the most famous productivity philosophies in the world. Created by David Allen, it is called Getting Things Done. Now, wait a minute. You might be sitting there asking yourself, Sophia, why are we talking about a productivity system on an English learning podcast? I am here to learn how to speak English, not how to organize my office. Single quotes. And that is a brilliant question. Let me explain exactly why this is the most important English lesson you will ever hear. Have you ever tried to have a conversation in English, but suddenly your mind goes completely blank? You know the vocabulary. If you write it on paper, your grammar is perfect. But the moment you open your mouth to speak to a client, to your boss, or to a stranger, you freeze, you hesitate. You start translating in your head, and everything feels heavy. Why does this happen? Does it mean your English is bad? No. It happens because your mind is already full. Your brain's hard drive is completely full, and it has no space left to process a new language in real time. Let's talk about our modern lives. You and I, we live in a world that never sleeps. We are constantly surrounded by noise, information, social media notifications, and a never-ending list of responsibilities. You probably have dozens of unread messages waiting for a reply right now. You have meetings you need to prepare for. You have personal duties, maybe you need to buy groceries, call your parents, pay the electricity bill, or schedule a doctor's appointment. On top of all that, you have big dreams. You want to learn English, maybe get a promotion, or travel the world. Because of this constant pressure, our mind often feels like a crowded train station. There are 1,000 voices shouting at the same time. Have you ever experienced this feeling? You finish a long, exhausting day of work. You come home, sit on your favorite chair, close your eyes, and try to relax. You just want 10 minutes of absolute peace. But what happens? Suddenly, a thought crashes into your brain. Oh no, I forgot to send that email to my manager. You try to push the thought away. Then another thought appears. I need to buy a gift for my friend's wedding this weekend. And then another. What am I going to say in tomorrow's team presentation? Even when your physical body is resting, your brain is running a marathon. It is exhausted because it is constantly thinking about unfinished tasks. David Allen says something incredibly fascinating about human psychology. I want you to listen very carefully to this quote. He says, "Your mind is for having ideas, not holding them." Let me repeat that, because this is the golden key to speaking fluent English. Your mind is for having ideas, not holding them. Our brain is a beautiful, powerful machine. It is designed to be highly creative. It is designed to solve complex problems, to imagine beautiful futures, and to help us communicate effectively. But our brain is actually a terrible storage system. It was never designed to hold 50 different tasks, worries, and schedules at the exact same time. When we try to keep too many things inside our memory, we experience something called mental clutter. Mental clutter is exactly what it sounds like. It means your mind is full of unfinished garbage. To understand this better, I want you to imagine your mind as a physical work desk. Imagine you have an important essay to write. If your desk is perfectly clean with just your computer, a pen, and a cup of coffee, you can sit down, take a deep breath, and do your absolute best work. You feel calm, you feel in control. But what happens if your desk is a complete disaster? Imagine a desk covered in dirty plates, hundreds of random sticky notes, unpaid bills, tangled wires, open books, and scattered papers. Could you write a brilliant, focused essay at that desk? Could you concentrate? No. The mess distracts you. Every time you look away from the computer, you see an unpaid bill, and you feel stressed. The mess drains your energy just by existing. Your mind works in the exact same way. When too many unfinished tasks stay inside your head, your brain cannot relax. It becomes that messy desk. And in this messy, chaotic environment, how can you possibly expect your brain to instantly find the right English vocabulary words when you are speaking? It is scientifically impossible. Your brain is too busy worrying about the unwashed dishes and the unanswered emails to help you speak. English Smoothly, David Allen explains that these unfinished tasks create something called open loops. An open loop is a psychological reality. It means any project, task, or commitment that you started thinking about but you have not finished yet. It is an open circle in your brain. And because the circle is not closed, your brain refuses to let it go. It keeps reminding you about it again and again and again. Think about your own life right now as you listen to my voice. Do you need to call your bank to fix an issue? That is an open loop. Do you need to prepare a presentation for next Monday? Open loop. Do you want to start waking up early to go to the gym? Open loop. Do you need to fix that broken door in your house? Open loop. All these ideas are swimming inside your brain, fighting aggressively for your attention. Because they are not finished, your brain becomes like an annoying alarm clock that you cannot turn off. It keeps ringing when you don't want it to. You are trying to enjoy a nice dinner with your family, and your brain suddenly says, "Hey, don't forget to renew your car insurance tomorrow." It follows you all day long. The real problem, my friends, is not the actual work. The work itself is usually very simple. Calling the bank takes 10 minutes. Replying to an email takes 2 minutes. Fixing a door takes half an hour. The real problem, the thing that creates deep anxiety, hesitation, and stresses the act of trying to remember everything. Our brain hates uncertainty. It hates chaos. It wants to know that things are organized. It wants to know that every task, every responsibility, and every goal is stored safely somewhere. If we want to speak fluent, confident English without hesitation, if we want to stop translating in our heads and start thinking in English, we must learn how to close these open loops. We must learn how to clean the desk of our mind. We have to empty the hard drive so we have enough RAM to process the English language naturally. So, how do we do this? How do we take all this stress and mental clutter out of our brains? We do this by using a powerful 3-step system. And the very first step is going to bring you immediate relief. It is going to make you feel 10 pounds lighter today. In the next segment of our masterclass, I am going to teach you Step 1. It is a technique so powerful that it will instantly clear your mental desk. Get ready, because we are about to learn how to capture. Now, we are going to fix it. We are going to clean that desk. David Allen's philosophy gives us a very simple 3-step system to achieve a calm, clear mind. When your mind is clear, you stop translating, you stop hesitating, you simply breathe, and the English words flow out of you naturally. Let's dive into step number 1. This step is called capture. To capture something means to catch it and keep it safe. David Allen says that if we want to feel organized, we must immediately remove tasks from our minds and place them into a trusted system. What is a trusted system? It is a place outside your brain. It is a place where you collect all your tasks, your ideas, your worries, and your responsibilities. He calls this place an inbox. Now, when I say inbox, you probably think about your email. When someone sends you an email, it arrives in your inbox. But in this system, your inbox can be anything. It could be a physical notebook that you carry in your pocket. It could be a simple list on your mobile phone. It could be a digital productivity app. Some people even use small pieces of paper and put them in a physical basket on their desk. The tool does not matter at all. The only thing that matters is the habit. The rule for step 1 is this: capture everything that has your attention. Imagine you are walking outside. You are listening to this podcast. Suddenly your brain says, "Oh, I need to book an appointment with the dentist tomorrow." What do most people do? Most people say to themselves, "Okay, I will remember that for later." But what happens? Your brain does not trust you. Your brain says, "No, you will forget." So it keeps repeating the thought, "Dentist, dentist." But what if, the moment you have that thought, you take out your phone and write "book dentist appointment" in your notes app? Something magical happens. Your brain sees that the thought is written down in a safe place. Your brain finally understands, this task is recorded. I do not need to remember it anymore. The alarm clock turns off. The open loop closes. You must capture everything. Do not decide if something is important or not. If it appears in your mind, capture it. Maybe you suddenly think about reading a new English book. Write it down. Maybe you want to repair the broken window in your home. Write it down. Maybe you want to call an old friend. Capture that idea too. Your inbox should become a safe place where every idea can arrive. Many people do not realize how many unfinished thoughts they are carrying like a heavy backpack. When my students start capturing everything, they are shocked. They sometimes write down 50, 80, or even 100 items. Some are big tasks, some are small reminders, some are future dreams. But when these items move out of the mind and onto a piece of paper, the brain begins to relax. You feel lighter. You feel calmer. It is exactly like cleaning a messy room. At first, the room is full of objects everywhere. But when you start collecting things and putting them into one box, the space begins to feel clear. When your mind is clear, it has the space to process the English language. Instead of using your mental energy to remember to buy groceries, you can use that energy to focus on your pronunciation, your vocabulary, and your conversation. So, you have captured everything. You have a notebook full of ideas, tasks, and plans. Your mind feels empty and relaxed. But now, a new question appears. You look at your list and you feel confused. What should you do next? This brings us to step number 2. Clarify. To clarify means to make something clear and easy to understand. David Allen explains that when many people look at their to-do lists, they feel stressed. Why? Because many tasks are written in a very vague, confusing way. Let me give you an example. Imagine you wrote something like this on your list: project. What does project mean? Does it mean you need to start the project? Does it mean you need to call your boss about the project? Does it mean you need to read a document? Your brain does not know. And when the brain does not know exactly what to do, it gets scared. When it gets scared, you procrastinate. You delay the work. Or maybe you wrote down, learn English. That is a beautiful goal, but it is a terrible task. Learn English is a massive mountain. Your brain looks at that and says, this is too big. I don't want to do this right now. That is why David Allen says every single task must become clear and specific. Instead of writing learn English or project, you must ask yourself one extremely important question. What is the next physical action? Listen to those words again. What is the next physical action? A physical action means something real that your body can actually do in the physical world. For example, learn English is not a physical action. But open YouTube and watch one Talk Evolve podcast episode for 15 minutes. That is a physical action. You can actually do that. Health is not an action, but call the doctor's office to schedule a checkup is a physical action. House is not an action, but clean the kitchen table for 5 minutes is an action. Do you see the difference? When your brain sees a clear, specific, physical action, it knows exactly what to do. The confusion disappears, the fear disappears, and when you know exactly what to do, the task feels much, much easier. During this clarified step, David Allen gives us one of the greatest productivity secrets of all time. It is called the 2-minute rule. Listen closely. If you look at an item on your list and you realize that the next physical action will take less than 2 minutes to finish, do not organize it. Do not schedule it for tomorrow. Do it immediately. Does replying to that short email take 1 minute? Do it right now. Does putting your shoes in the closet take 30 seconds? Do it right now. Does sending a quick voice message to your friend in English take 2 minutes? Do it now. Why? Because taking the time to write down and organize a tiny task actually takes more energy than simply doing the task. The 2-minute rule is like a magic trick. It makes dozens of small, annoying tasks disappear from your life instantly. Your list becomes shorter, and your mind feels incredibly organized. Welcome to the final part of our masterclass, my friends. So far, we have done the hard work. In step 1, you captured every single thought, worry, and task into your inbox. Your mind is no longer carrying that heavy backpack. In step 2, you clarified those items. You did not leave vague, scary words like project or health on your list. You asked the magic question. What is the next physical action? You transformed big, confusing mountains into small, easy steps that you can take today. But now, we arrive at the third and final step. What do you do with all these clear, physical actions? If you just leave them in a big pile on your desk, you will still feel stressed. This brings us to step number 3. Organize. I want you to think about a beautiful professional kitchen in a high-class restaurant. In that kitchen, every single tool has a specific place. The large dinner plates go in one cabinet, the water glasses go in another cabinet. The forks and knives are perfectly arranged in a drawer. The spices are lined up on a shelf. If everything has a clear place, cooking a complex, delicious meal becomes incredibly easy. The chef does not need to think. They just reach out and grab what they need. But imagine a kitchen where everything is mixed together in one big pile. The plates are in the sink, the forks are on the floor, the spices are hidden under the table. Cooking in that kitchen would be an absolute nightmare. You would waste all your time and energy just looking for a knife. Your productivity system and your brain works in the exact same way. If your tasks are not organized clearly, you will waste your mental energy trying to find them. And remember, we need all that mental energy to focus on speaking fluent English. David Allen explains that a good system needs several different lists. Each list has a very specific, unique purpose. Let me give you the 4 most important lists you will ever need in your life. The first list is called the Next Actions list. This is your engine. This contains all the small, clear physical actions that you can do as soon as you have free time. Because you already did the clarify step, these tasks are ready to be done. For example, your next actions list might include call the dentist's office, buy green tea from the supermarket, or send the weekly report to the manager. When you have 15 minutes of free time, you don't need to stress. You just look at this list, pick one action, and do it. The second list is called the projects list. Remember, a project is any goal that requires more than one step. Plan a summer vacation is a project. Organize a birthday party is a project. This list helps you remember all the big goals you are working on. But here is the golden rule. A project itself is not an action. You cannot do a project in one single moment. Every project on this list must always have at least one next action connected to it. This is how massive goals slowly, easily move forward without stress. The third list is incredibly powerful, especially if you work in an office. It is called the waiting for list. This list contains tasks that other people are responsible for, but you need to remember them. For example, waiting for John to send the signed contract, or waiting for the repair service to call me back. Sometimes people completely forget that they are waiting for something. 2 weeks pass, and nothing happens. But when you have a waiting for list, you can review it every Friday and follow up with those people. You are always in control. And finally, the fourth list. This is my absolute favorite. It is called the someday maybe list. This list is a safe home for all your beautiful dreams and ideas that you want to do in the future, but you do not have the time to do them right now. Maybe you want to learn how to play the guitar. Maybe you want to start a small business. Maybe you want to travel to Japan. Maybe you want to learn French or Spanish after you finally master English. These are wonderful ideas, but they are not urgent tasks. Instead of letting these ideas bounce around in your mind and distract you, you place them safely in the someday maybe list. Your brain knows they are safe. Later, when you have more time in your life, you can look at this list and turn a dream into a real project. 23:30 to 26 minutes and 30 seconds. Music shifts to a deep, ambient, and very calm tone. Sophia, when you capture everything, when you clarify the next actions, and when you organize them into these clean lists, something extraordinary happens to your brain. David Allen says that the ultimate goal of this entire system is not just to finish tasks. Finishing tasks is nice, but it is not the real prize. The real goal is to create a state of being that martial artists call a mind like water. What does a mind like water mean? I want you to close your eyes and imagine a beautiful, quiet lake in the mountains. There is no wind. The water is perfectly, absolutely calm. When the water is calm, what happens? It reflects everything perfectly. It reflects the green trees, the blue sky, and the white clouds. The reflection is clear and beautiful. But what happens if you pick up a large stone and throw it into the lake? The water shakes, it splashes everywhere, and suddenly the beautiful reflection is broken. It becomes confused and distorted. My friends, our mind works in the exact same way. When our mind is full of stress, when we are carrying 50 unfinished tasks and open loops, our mind is like that shaking water. In that state, your thinking becomes confused, and this is the ultimate secret to speaking fluent English. When you are standing in front of a native speaker, or when you are giving a presentation in English, if your mind is shaking with stress, your English will be broken. You will forget simple vocabulary. You will stammer. You will desperately try to translate from your mother tongue into English because your brain is panicking. But if you use this system, if you capture your tasks, clarify your actions, and organize your life, your mind becomes completely calm. You achieve a mind like water. There is no pressure. There is no background noise. And in that state of absolute clarity, you do not need to translate. The English language simply reflects from your calm mind. You listen, you understand, and you speak effortlessly. You breathe, and the words flow out of you like a quiet river. 26 minutes and 30 seconds to 28 minutes and 0 seconds. Music swells with a feeling of triumph and inspiration. Sophia David Allen believes that productivity is not about working harder or moving faster. Productivity is about creating the mental space to think clearly, to live fully, and to communicate beautifully. So, Here is your Talk Evolve challenge for this week. I want you to grab a piece of paper today, not tomorrow, today. Create your inbox, do a massive brain dump, and write down every single open loop in your life. Then, clarify the next physical actions. Clean the desk of your mind. Make space for the English language to grow. If you are ready to take control of your mind and accept this challenge, I want you to go to the comments right now and type these 3 words: mind like water. Let the world know that you are clearing your mind to speak clear English. Now, my friends, before we conclude today's masterclass, I need to share one final secret ingredient with you. We have captured our thoughts. We have clarified our actions. We have organized our lists. You might be thinking, "Great, Sophia. My system is perfect. I am done forever." But let me ask you a question. If you clean your house on Sunday and you make it look perfectly beautiful, what happens by next Friday? Does it stay clean automatically? No. Dust comes back. Clothes fall on the floor. The dishes pile up in the sink again. Life is messy. Life is always moving. Your mind and your productivity system work the exact same way. And more importantly, your English vocabulary works the exact same way. This brings us to the secret weapon of the entire system, the weekly review. David Allen says that a system is only good if you trust it. If you organize your tasks today, but you never look at your lists again, your brain will stop trusting the system. Your brain will say, "Oh, she is not looking at her notebook anymore. I need to start remembering things again." And suddenly, the stress comes back. The open loops return. To prevent this, you must do a weekly review. This is a special appointment you make with yourself once a week. Maybe it is Sunday morning with a cup of coffee. Maybe it is Friday evening after work. During this weekly review, you do 3 simple things. First, you empty your brain again. You capture any new open loops that happened during the week. Second, you look at your next actions list and check off everything you completed. You celebrate your small wins. And third, you look at your projects and make sure every project is moving forward. But how does this help you speak fluent English? My beautiful listeners, the weekly review is the exact same concept as revision in language learning. One of the biggest complaints I hear from students is, "Sophia, I learn new English words on Monday, but when I try to speak on Thursday, my mind goes blank. I forget the words." Why do you forget? Because you are treating your brain like a garbage can, throwing new words inside and never organizing them. If you want to think in English, you must do a weekly review of your language. Take 20 minutes every Sunday. Look at the new vocabulary words you captured during the week. Look at the grammar rules you clarified. Ask yourself, did I use these words in a real conversation this week? If the answer is no, make it a next action for Monday. When you review your life, you stay in control. When you review your English, the language moves from your short-term memory deep into your long-term memory. It becomes a permanent part of who you are. You see, mastering English is not about studying for 5 hours in one day and then doing nothing for a month. It is about small, organized, consistent steps. It is about trusting yourself. When you know that you have a dedicated time every Sunday to review your life and your language, your brain relaxes for the rest of the week. And that brings us to the end of today's deep masterclass. If you have listened to this entire episode, I want to say that I am incredibly proud of you. You are truly serious about your English fluency, and you are already one step ahead of everyone else. Now, before you go, it is time for our standard Talk Evolve challenge. I want you to go to the comments down below right now and type these 3 words: mind like water. Let the world know that you are ready to clear your mind, remove the hesitation, and speak English with absolute confidence. If this episode brought value to your life today, Please hit that like button. It helps our podcast reach and help more English learners just like you. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next powerful masterclass. Remember, my friends, mastering English is a beautiful journey, not a race. Trust the process, keep evolving, keep practicing, and never let the fear of speaking stop you. Thank you for giving me your time today. This is your host, Sophia, signing off. I will see you in the next episode.